This is the meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission on Wednesday, August 26, 2020. This is an in-person attendance is allowed, but
You don't need to read it.
we don't need to do that? Oh, good. Anything we don't need to read. It's good.
We have 4 agenda items tonight.
It's good. Okay. And we've done through agenda item 1.
Agenda item 1 is roll call and disclosure of
Right.
conflict of
We've done it.
interest. No, that was pre-agenda. We're live now.
Oh, okay, that's right. All right, Aislinn, would you please call the roll call, please?
Jill Kirkham.
Present. My name is Jill Kirkham. I live in the Alameda area. I have made visits to both sites and have nothing to report.
Jack Moore is unexcused this evening. Dorothy Ricks.
Hi, my name is Dorothy Ricks. I have nothing else to report.
Shin-Kyu Roo.
Hello, my name is Shin-Kyu Roo. I live in the Highland area. I've been to the site for agenda item number 3, and I have nothing else to declare. Thank you.
Kaylee White.
My name is Kaylee White. I live in the Alameda area. I did make a site visit. I have nothing further to report.
Agenda item 2, approval of minutes.
All right, the commission may wish to approve the minutes with clarification. What?
Yeah, you don't need to read all that. You just say agenda item 2 is approval of minutes for the August 12, 2020 meeting.
Okay, agenda item 2 is approval of minutes for the August 2020 meeting.
I move to approve the minutes from August 12th, 2020.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? We don't have to do that either.
Are you doing roll call?
Yes, please.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Kirkham.
Yes.
Ricks.
Yes.
Roo.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, agenda item 3, that's you, Matt.
Public hearing, you do.
Okay, the time has been set aside for the commission to hear comments from the public regarding a request by Random Ratliff, represented by RMES, to rezone property located at lots 1 and 2, block 269, of the original town site overlay, the south corner of North 6th Avenue and East Lander Street, from commercial general to residential commercial professional. Action item. Okay.
You can declare public hearing open.
And I now declare the public hearing as open.
Presentation from that.
Presentation from what?
The applicant.
Oh, is there a presentation from the applicant?
Yes, there is. Good evening, commission members. My name is Brady Smith with Rocky Mountain Engineering and Surveying, 600 East Oak Street, Pocatello, Idaho. Here tonight representing the applicant on this project. If you kind of look up at this screen, just to give you kind of a general location, I know many of you probably already saw the site on the ground, but we basically got the post office right here, and on the corner of 6th and Lander, there's this highlighted blue piece is the area in question. The long and short of it is we're trying to accommodate a development plan kind of in a multi-phase effort, which across the street here you can see these 3 parcels of land that are also under the ownership of the developer and the applicant on this project. And the big difference is there's a zone change line basically along Lander Street there. But if you kind of look at the surrounding uses, both across 6th to the east and also to the south, you can see along Clark even there's some residential use that is kind of present basically all around this area. Notwithstanding like the post office and obviously the Robert Allen dealership portion, but there are substantial pieces around this parcel that make us believe that this is a reasonable request. The intent of this project long-term would be to take a vacant property and actually develop it into some additional affordable housing, which would again be in conjunction with some development opportunities that the developer is looking into on the opposite side of the street. So knowing what his vision for the project is, it does not work within the commercial general zone. And so looking at the surrounding areas and also with the intention of looking to maximize opportunities on infill areas of town, this property came to be considered. And so as we began that process, we went down this road to make sure we could try to incorporate that as kind of a phase 1, phase 2 project and feel with the surrounding areas that we have there that this is a good fit, and it would also help bring some character to this part of the block or the town that it wouldn't have otherwise, as just being a vacant parking lot. So in summary, we're just looking to request the zone change be amended to RCP, and that we could then proceed forward with trying to do this affordable housing project to come, knowing that there's also a set of reviews and things that we'd have to go through there, but we want to get the zoning appropriate first. And so with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions from the council this time? No? All right, now we'd like to ask the staff to come forward and give their presentation.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Commission members. My name is Matthew Lewis. I'm Senior Planner with the city. As previously noted, Brandon Ratliff of LandQuest Inc. LLC, represented by Rocky Mountain Engineering and Surveying, has submitted a zoning map amendment application to rezone lots 1 and 2, block 269 of the original Pocatello town site, entailing 8,440 square feet, more or less, from the existing commercial general to residential commercial professional. Proposed zone change does not require an amendment to the comprehensive land use map, as the parcels are currently designated mixed use, which corresponds to the RCP zoning. The property in question is located in the original Pocatello town site. It is currently being used as an accessory parking lot. The applicant is proposing to construct a fourplex with off-street parking on the subject lots. This is not out of character with adjacent land to the south, which consists of a sixplex. The area in general is a mix of commercial, multifamily, and single-family residential. No written comments were received as of the date that the report was completed, which was August 19th, 2020, and none have been received to date. One phone call was received. Optional motions are provided in the staff report with 3 conditions recommended to be attached. This concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right. Any questions whatsoever? None? Okay. So at this particular time, we'll close the hearing.
You need to ask if there's any public hearing or public comments in
Oh,
favor of.
I listened to you. I thought that's what you were saying. Okay. All right. So let's ask for testimony for those that support the application. Through the 3-minute time limit. I see none. Testimony for those uncommitted on the application. Ask for testimony by those opposed to the application. None whatsoever. And offer rebuttal time to the applicant. There is no one, so you're good to go. Okay. All right, now I'll close the hearing using the gavel state. Can I use the gavel? Oh, I can. I love this part. Yeah. I declare the public hearing closed. Commission, this item is before you. How do you wish to proceed?
I move to recommend approval of the application from Brandon Ratliff to rezone the property specifically described as lots 1 and 2 of Block 269 of the Pocatello Town Site from Commercial General to be zoned Residential Commercial Professional, finding the application does meet the standards for approval under Chapter 17.02.170 of Pocatello Municipal Code, if the following conditions from staff are met.
I second that motion.
And authorized by the board chair.
I second that addition.
Do we need to vote?
Call for the vote.
White,
Yes?
Kirkham,
Yes.
Ricks,
Yes.
Rue.
Yes.
Motion carries.
It's in the agenda item number 4.
Now we are down to agenda item number 4.
You need to read that. It's on the front.
Oh, there we go. All right. I don't know what I do without these guys, really. The rest of me. Okay, agenda item number 4, preliminary plat, The Ridges at Trail Creek. McCormick Ranch Limited Liability Corp., represented by RMES, has submitted a preliminary plat application to subdivide approximately 30.22 acres of land into 16 residential lots. The proposed subdivision is located west of Gaithy Road.
Presentation from that.
We'll have a presentation from Matt. Where'd Matt go?
The applicant, from the applicant.
Oh, the applicant. Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't catch that. Sorry about that, young man. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Commissioners. Again, Brady Smith, Rocky Mountain Engineering and Surveying, 600 East Oak Street, Pocatello, Idaho. Here tonight representing the applicant, McCormick Ranch LLC, on this project. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the area highlighted here in blue. I apologize for my parcels kind of running out. I was more focused on the center of town, and without internet access, it's kind of spotty. But in general, where this highlighted blue is coming off of Gaithy Road, there's an existing road that has been developed along with utilities and so forth in the last decade or so. That was done back in conjunction when the Holy Spirit Catholic Church owned the property. Since that time, it's under new ownership and obviously a new vision for what this project is intended to be. With that being said, you're not normally seeing a preliminary plat that looks more like a final plat because a lot of the infrastructure has already been installed. The roads, the utilities have all been installed, although they are not currently active or accepted by the city. This project, when it was done by the church, was never platted officially into any formal, lots or right-of-ways. So in general, this road is just kind of out there in space right now. The purpose and intention of this preliminary plat that's before you tonight is to shore that up and to appropriately define the right-of-ways that the developers wish to move forward with in conjunction with other parts of their property that will be feeding off of this road. So with that, there are some differences. It is the developer's intention to, as Carl mentioned in the clarification meeting, that there's an internal piece of project here that was kind of already, a lot of earthwork and things were done that will probably be coming before you, sooner than later as we're working through those processes. And so we're open to looking at redefining the boundaries of this plat to amend it, whatever the staff and the ownership can come to. I think we're flexible that way to make it more clear or easier to handle in the planning process. We've also looked through the conditions and don't see any issues with the areas in which a slope analysis is required, and we're very familiar with the memorandums that are provided in the staff report, and we're willing to work through that with the city staff and make this a successful project. So in general, this project is kind of been just sitting there idle for quite some time, and it's an exciting project. I think it's going to be good for the city of Pocatello long term, and this is kind of one of the first steps to getting some formality to things and getting right-of-ways established, and hopefully the utilities accepted as we move forward with this process. So with that, we believe that this meets all the applicable standards of the city code, and we just ask for your recommendation for approval on this project, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions at this time? None whatsoever. Okay. Now we'll hear from staff.
Yeah, good evening, Madam Chair and members of the Commission. My name is Carl Anderson, and I'm a senior planner with the Planning and Development Services Department. Before you for consideration, you have the proposed preliminary plat for the ridges at Trail Creek. This request was submitted by McCormick Ranch LLC. The engineer listed on the application is Rocky Mountain Engineering and Surveying. The proposed subdivision is located adjacent to Foothills Boulevard and Gaethje Drive. The proposal calls for the platting of 30.22 acres, more or less, into 16 lots, and the property is zoned residential, commercial, professional. As proposed, Lot 6, Block 1 incorporates land within another preliminary plat application currently on hold in the Planning and Development Services Department, and should be removed from the final plat in order to remove the need for one of the proposals to be a replat in the future. The remaining 15 lots are intended to be utilized for residential development. The RCP zoning district requires a minimum lot size of 4,500 square feet for single-family home, and the smallest buildable lot proposed is 8,712 square feet. As portions of lots 1 through 5 Block 1 and lots 1 through 10 Block 2 have slope exceeding 15%, a slope analysis shall be provided at the time of final plat to ensure compliance with City Code 1705-140. Since the time of the completion of the staff report, questions have come up regarding access to the property to the south. In order for staff to do their due diligence and continue moving the project forward, we recommend a condition be added that the applicant work with staff and the adjacent property owner to the south to verify access to the property prior to final plat submittal. Staff has reviewed the application and finds that the proposed ridges at Trail Creek subdivision is compliant with all applicable standards of City Code 16.20.050, assuming compliance with the conditions listed in the staff report. This concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions that the Commission may have. Merrill Quell is also present to answer questions from the Commission.
Any questions at this time?
So I have a question with regards to your final comments. So the additional condition is an addition to what's provided to us in written form?
That's correct. Based on
Can you,
information.
I don't know how we're going to do this, but I didn't catch.
Oh, okay, yeah. I have a clarification with regards to the last comment Carl made with regards to when he added a condition that was in addition to what was already written, and I just wanted to confirm that.
Okay. Very good.
Madam Chair, I would also recommend that the applicant have an opportunity to address the condition as well.
Thank you, Carl. I would actually like to address that. So to give you a little background, since that was brought up, I have spoken with the owners on this property and in direct relationship to this access concern. I believe that they would be fine with working with staff to, or the property owners to establish a potential access point. It may not be where it is currently shown, but I do know that the owners have expressed willingness, and I think they've even shared that willingness with the property owner to provide something more along the property, the adjacent property owner's west boundary. So if you kind of look at this map here at the southwest corner of the blue, their property basically touches right up to that line. And so our client would prefer to provide some sort of an access point. They're open to that discussion. But in terms of what's before you tonight, they are very concerned about safety with that access being located at its current location. And so it's really not what they want to do at that location. So I think we're open to discussion and seeing if we can work something out. I just want to clarify that the condition wouldn't hinder their ability to exercise their land rights in terms of there's no agreements that we've been made aware of. The city has not accepted any of the utilities or the improvements at this point, which will come as we get this developed the way that our client visualizes it being done. So we're open to that as long as it's not something that can potentially cause you can't proceed until this access is granted. Because I know from talking with the ownership group that is in charge of this, they're open to another location to supply access, but not at this location. So does that make sense? So that would be my only concern. I don't want to commit to something that hinders us moving forward the way that they visualize this going, but they are open to discussions with the landowner. It might just need to be in a different location if they could come to some terms.
Staff, do you have any comments at this time? None? Okay. Alrighty, I don't think we have any testimony, but we certainly can go through it.
I move to recommend approval for the preliminary plat application from McCormick Ranch LLC for the Ridges at Trail Creek subdivision, finding that the application does meet the standards for approval under Chapter 16.20.050 of Pocatello Municipal Code, finding that they do follow the recommendations made present by staff.
And adding the new recommendation.
And adding the new recommendations from staff.
So moved. I second.
Second.
Okay. White,
Yes?
Kirkham,
Yes.
Ricks,
Yes.
Hugh.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Concludes our meeting for this.
Okay, that concludes our meeting for this evening. I want to thank you all for coming out and helping this little old lady get through this, so I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.